Hi everybody, this is my channel, EastPAWz, and I'm Zawadi, or you can call me that damn Red Guard. But if you've ever done the YouTube Creator Academy or started YouTube Creator Academy, they've added something new to it. I've actually started already and still have a ways to go before I get my little certificate in the mail. But anyway, they've added how to make advertiser-friendly content for your channel so that you don't have to deal with not being monetized. There are right now so many people right now who's had monetization on their videos and no longer have it, and they've started Patreon accounts. But imagine just making your channel advertiser friendly so you don't have that to deal with. Not only that, I believe, and this is just my opinion, that there are probably advertisers that are backed up simply because they can't or feel like they won't monetize on a certain channel because of their content, and they're probably looking for channels to actually advertise on and can't find any. Well, I would just say make your videos advertiser friendly so you don't have to depend upon somebody paying your rent, and the advertisers are more than happy to do it. How about that? Well, I guess we can take this little test together right here. Let's start. Creator Academy. Okay, lesson: making advertiser-friendly content. Okay, if you're interested in earning money from your ads, let's start over again. If you're interested in earning money from ads on YouTube, it's important to understand YouTube's ads policies and how advertisers choose where their ads appear. Okay, we really need to know that. Let me read it. YouTube is a platform with a wide range of communities, and it's also an ecosystem that serves creators, viewers, and advertisers. You can build a dedicated audience without ever establishing monetization or glancing at our advertiser-friendly content guidelines. But if you would like to earn money from advertising, it is important to sell yourself up to succeed. It is important to set yourself up to succeed. By understanding YouTube's ad policies and how advertisers choose where their ads appear on YouTube. Every brand is different, and some have different views on the kind of content they are comfortable appearing on alongside. Not every company is gonna want to be on a platform or advertise on a channel that's just strictly talking about economics for a poor minority community. Believe it or not, I don't understand how advertisers wouldn't want to do that, but seriously, there's some channels right now that are actually just talking about economics for poor communities like Detroit and Cincinnati and Chicago, and how to uplift themselves out of poverty while not letting their children fall to gang members and stuff like that. And some advertisers are actually scared of it, talking about how to reverse crime. Can you believe that? But seriously, there are people like that. There are advertisers that are like that. Okay, let's continue. By understanding how advertisers think about these issues, you can make informed decisions about your content and how much, if at all, you wish to take that into account when creating content. Okay. What is important to advertisers? Advertisers want to reach the right audience, but they also care about how they reach that audience and where their ad appears. They use topics, specific keywords, and audience demographics, among other things, to decide whether to place their ads. YouTube helps them identify the right place for their ads to appear by looking at your video content, thumbnails, and metadata, title, description, and tags. Let's look at that again. Advertisers are actually looking at your video. They want to know the content of the video. They're looking at thumbnails, and they're also looking at metadata. So keywords are important, especially when it comes to making a video where captioning is going to be caught. So if you think you can scream into the mic and curse and talk about sexual themes and things like that, they're probably not going to want to advertise on that video, or maybe even your channel if that's a reoccurring thing that's happening on your channel. But okay, let's keep going on. And also, they talks about certain topics, specific keywords, and the audience demographics. Meaning that if you're a person who likes video games, then they're probably going to target ads on that channel, or even to you as a person who's watching the channel, certain video games. But for me, I have my ads tweaked to where I do watch ads on YouTube and I see movies and video games because that's what I told them I want to watch. So, but I'll link I'll link a video to that to show you what I'm talking about. I'll put it in my description. Okay, what content is suitable for advertising? What is suitable? That's what everybody's asking. Why is my content being blasted and buried and removed or even demonetized? What's being demonetized? Okay. Some videos may be rejected for monetization depending on the nature of the video. Content that is considered not advertiser friendly includes, but is not limited to, controversial issues and sensitive events. Okay, video content that features or focuses on sensitive topics or events, including but not limited to war, political conflicts, terrorism or extremism, death and tragedies, sexual abuse, even if graphic imagery is not shown. That's pretty bad because but I did realize that I wasn't the video wasn't demonetized, but even when I played This War Is Mine, that is put on another level, meaning that a young audience can't see that video game, but it is not demonetized. It's a video game, and war is going to be in some video games, violence and things like that. When it comes to sensitive topics, I would love to actually sit and talk about things like bipolar disorder, being diagnosed when you're really young with a mental disorder, not being able to do some of the things that you want to do, or you had planned, or your parents had planned for your life and you couldn't because of a disability. I could talk from firsthand on things like that. I wanted to be a Marine when I was very young. I wanted to be a Marine. I wanted to follow in the footsteps of my father and his father, our grandparents that served in the military. And when I realized that I could no longer do that because of my disability, trust me, it had a huge impact upon me and how I felt about myself and how I carried on for the rest of my life. So I can't sit and talk about that and monetize a video simply because that is that would be looked at as being a topic that is sensitive. Even though they say tragedies, extremism, death, terrorism, political conflicts, war, you can't even talk about mental illness. So believe it or not, you can't talk about depression. You can't talk about if you were sexually abused as a kid in grade school, a little kid or whatever. You can't even bring that up, But anyway, I wonder if they have the same thing. I wonder if all disabilities are not advertiser friendly. But anyway, I don't know, but I do know that certain top YouTubers couldn't talk about depression without being demonetized. Okay. Drugs and dangerous products of substances. Okay. Video content that promotes or features the sale, use, or abuse of illegal drugs, regulated drugs or substances, or other dangerous products is not eligible for advertising. Okay, I actually knew that, like guns and talking about cocaine or talking about any kind of, or even making fun about it. You can't even joke about it. But I knew that simply because I did a majority of my advertising, and any money that I made with AdSense, I was on a website and I followed all of these guidelines since 2005. I pretty much know the guidelines, but I'm learning them for videos. I knew all the guidelines for a website. I knew the TOS. This is basically the TOS for the website. Now it's being incorporated with YouTube. So anybody that's ever signed or signed up for AdSense, you should actually know this already. I don't know why people are becoming so surprised about it now. But the one thing that's changed is that on a website, a blog that I had years ago, I could talk about depression. A friend of mine could talk about multiple personality disorder. People could talk about schizophrenia. And none of their content was, we didn't have any issues with it. We didn't violate any TOS. But I guess the videos that are more viral, they probably have a cap on that, or what you can talk about or bring up. But okay, moving on. Hateful content. Video content that promotes discrimination or disparages or humiliates an individual or group of people on the basis of the individual or group's race, ethnicity, or ethnic origin, nationality, religion, disability, age, veteran status, sexual orientation, gender identity, or other characteristic that is associated with systemic discrimination or marginalization is not eligible for advertising. So, even if it's just a prank, man, it's just a joke, it's just a prank, mom, you can't even do that. You can't even crack jokes about Jews, Indians, black, Chinese, people from Taiwan, Hong Kong, or whatever. All of your jokes may be a prank, but just notice that if you get demonetized, you already know that this is a no-go. You don't even go there. So don't go, put it on your channel. You're just not going to get you're just going to get demonetized. Not only that, your channel might be blacklisted where people aren't going to be advertising on your channel at all. So you already know this. If you crack your jokes and put it on Facebook and put it on Twitter, but just know that advertisers may do this whole roundabout thing and want to know who you are before they want to become a sponsor on your channel. They may not be a sponsor if you decide to take it off of YouTube and put it in social media. They may not still want to have nothing to do with you because they look at who they want to basically be the face for their brand, and they may not want you anyway. I notice that a lot of people who are very kind up front, but behind closed doors, they're basically some of the most bigoted people I've ever seen or heard of. But they have a smile on their face and they're very kind up front, but they're very bigoted. They don't get any sponsorships. They do not get sponsorships, and they depend upon Patreon donations. So, and they don't understand why. Not all companies want to be attached to you. Sorry. Okay. Inappropriate language. Video content that contains frequent use of strong profanity or vulgarity throughout the video may not be eligible for advertising. Can't make jokes about things like that, especially if you're targeting kids. When kids come up to you at some meet and greet, you got a bunch of kids who are not even old enough to have a drink, right? And you have some of the most profanity in your videos and vulgarity. Then yeah, you really need to target an older audience, or guess what? Get ready to get demonetized. And you should not have to ask why or get upset about it. That's just how it is. Not every company wants to be attached to you. Occasional use of profanity won't necessarily result in your video being ineligible for advertising, but context matters. Now, if you're pissed off and you say the F word, that's not gonna hurt you or anything. But if that's basically, you're basically talking about being with somebody and you're using that language. Being physical with somebody and you're using that language over and over. And in one video, you basically, you can actually ruin all monetization on your channel if you're a person that uses strong profanity, okay, or vulgarity. And you may not believe it, but people that are dealing with that right now and just reporting the news, and they're showing graphic content on their YouTube channel. They're getting pennies now. When they used to be able to make a full-time income, they can't anymore. And they hardly ever upload, maybe you might get a once-a-week video now when it used to be every 24 hours or every 36 hours. It's now once a week. I noticed that with some YouTubers. Inappropriate use of family entertainment characters. Inappropriate use of family entertainment characters. You can't take Mickey Mouse or something like that and do something degrading on camera with it, I guess. Well, but let's go in and check this out and see what this means. Videos depicting family entertainment characters or content, whether animated or live action, engaged in violent, sexual, vile, or otherwise inappropriate behavior, even if done for comedic or satirical purposes, are not eligible for advertising. So for the YouTubers up there that are even, I guess, putting life-size images of somebody who is basically a PG artist or somebody who is not, a rated R, I guess, even actor or any kind of cartoon character. I think that they should also put a block on that when it comes to religious characters or what people believe as being to them religious. So if you want to put a life-size image of Yeshua, which to the Christians are Jesus Christ, and you want to do something horrible to it on camera just for the laughs for your audience, you should probably be demonetized also. And for the people that think that this is crazy or whatever, it means that you're this comes down to religion. If you got a problem with that, you need to take that up with YouTube, not me. Okay. Incendiary or demeaning. Incendiary and demeaning. Video content that is gratuitously, I have really, really bad grammar. Incendiary, inflammatory, or demeaning may not be eligible for advertising. For example, video content that shames or insults an individual or group may not be eligible for advertising. Okay, if you want to make a video where you want to talk about the crime in the black community, and that's your whole, basically, that's the basis and your crutch, that's your platform. Basically, to just to talk about the crime in the Arab community, the crime in the Somalian community, the crime in the black community, the crime in this, that, and the community, completely ignoring your own, but the crime basically based upon somebody's ethnicity. You may not be advertiser friendly. I'm not saying that what you're saying is right or wrong. I'm saying that you're not going to be somebody that the advertisers are going to feel comfortable with putting their brand on your video. Okay? It has nothing to do with your information. It has nothing to do with your book. It has nothing to do with that. It's what the advertisers feel is not advertiser friendly. YouTube actually is not making that decision. It's advertisers that are making this decision. So if you want to get upset with Hershey's or Coca-Cola or whatever company out there decides they didn't want to advertise on your channel. Get upset with them. You can't get upset about it with Google, YouTube, or any other platform. It's advertisers that make those choices. Okay? Sexually suggestive content. Video content that features highly sexualized content, such as video content where the focal point is nudity, body parts, or sexual simulations. Sexual simulations? Okay. It's not eligible for advertising. Content that features sex toys, sexual devices, or explicit conversation about sex may not be eligible for advertising, with limited exceptions for non-graphic sexual education videos. Okay, I've also seen this in videos. If your let's say that your video is showing what do you have to do if you're a young guy and you're going in for an exam for football, you want to join the football team. What do you expect? This might be a young guy maybe, and he wants to be on the football team or whatever, and he's never had to do a physical like that. If there's some doctor or whatever, I guess, showing how the process, what you have to go through when you get a physical to join the basketball, the football team, that's looked at as education. Now, when you just decide that you're going to hump something, on your couch and laugh about it, and then talk about sex with your parents or whatever, that has nothing to do with education, or just bring something up just to the shock and awe value of your parents and stuff. Nah, you're not going to be eligible for advertising. You can't feature sex toys, sexual devices, explicit conversations about sex. Okay, yeah, just joking about it is not even going to cut it. Personally, I wouldn't do that at all. I've joked about something like that in a video before, but I didn't go on and on and on about it. I made a comment and said, okay, now back to this. But it wasn't, my video wasn't based on that. It was based on, me making or clearing a forest or whatever, and I said something. So it wasn't based upon that topic, and the video wasn't about the topic. So that's why I cut it short and went on and moved to another conversation. Violence, okay? Video content where the focal point is on blood, violence, or injury, when presented without additional context, is not eligible for advertising. Violence in a normal course of video gameplay is generally acceptable for advertising, but montages where gratuitous violence, I'm sure I said that wrong, violence is a focal point is not. If you're showing violent content in news, educational, artistic, or documentary context, that additional context is important. Okay, so you can't just show blood and gore just for the laws or whatever. Okay, review the YouTube's advertiser-friendly content guidelines, and there's a link you go and click on for more details on that, on what is not eligible for ads. If your content is demonetized, but you believe it is suitable for advertising, you may be able to request that your video is reviewed. A demonetized video with a yellow $ next to it means you can't request that the video be reviewed for monetization. If you see a black $ next to your video, it means that the monetization decision is final. Well, if it's green, you're good to go. If it's yellow, it's demonetized, and you can request that the video is reviewed. And if you have a black $ that's crossed through it, means that you can't do anything about it. It's demonetized, and that's the final decision. Normally, when I've had something with a $ with a black, the black $ crossed through it, it's because I use another company's music and I decided I wanted to keep it, or even a video, another company's video, which I did. I uploaded a cat video that was attacking the mailman, and the person wanted to monetize, and I just said, I clicked it on and said, cool, monetize it. I don't have any control over the monetization of that video, and I didn't fight it or anything because it was not my video. But if I do have something like this, I would probably be shocked, because I upload my own content and I try never to use video footage from someone else unless it is being used within my own video, and I'll probably post a link to that person's channel. If I haven't already, that means I got some work to do, but nothing that I've made has been demonetized. Okay, how can you help your content monetize better? So basically, how can you get good ads, I guess, on your videos? I don't know. Let's check this out. Content. Even if a video is approved for monetization, some advertisers may choose not to show their ads on particular content types that don't match their brand, especially content that deals with controversial or challenging subject ideas. For example, advertisers often choose to exclude these type of content from their campaigns. Okay, nobody wants to advertise, well, I should say, some advertisers don't want sensitive social issues like discrimination and identity relations, scandals and investigations, reproductive rights. We don't want people that are pro this, pro life, or pro choice, or whatever. We don't want firearms and weapons and more things like that. They don't want tragedy and conflict. Posting about somebody's obituaries, or some people back in the day used to make videos showing people that died or whatever, make a video about them. Some advertisers don't want that. Bereavement services, like a funeral, somebody's funeral on video, whatever. Violence, war, missing persons. I remember that. I think that the missing persons is they should not have a problem with that. That's if somebody's like flashing a video, this kid's missing in this state or whatever, look out for him. I don't think nothing's wrong with that. It's sort of like having an Amber Alert and more. Okay. Sensational and shocking. What is sensational and shocking? I would be shocked if Donald Trump decided to go out on the lawn in his boxers and start moonwalking and smoking a cigarette. Pretty much that's sensational and shocking to me, but maybe it couldn't be monetized. I don't know. Okay, let's look at what sensational and shocking means. Content that creates shock value. What is shock value? Including sensational, gross, and crude content. Okay, I guess videos that people were making that Michelle Obama has a penis. Stuff like that. Yeah, that's pretty much crazy. Or this one lady would constantly upload like every hour. She would have like 30 videos a day. I don't know what happened to her channel. All her videos are gone, but maybe she actually was put in some kind of home or whatever. But she would upload videos saying that the feds are knocking on Obama's door. Obama just bought an $8 million mansion anyway. That the feds are knocking on his door. That Michelle Obama, she decided to go through with her operation to fully let out her penis or whatever, and she's in some island. Yeah, I guess that's sensational and shocking. Okay. Some advertisers may also choose to avoid content that features profanity and rough language. Moderate or heavy use of profane language and curse words. Yeah. Even if you're being moderate in your speech, some advertisers still don't want to have nothing to do with you. If you're using heavy profanity, they definitely don't want to have nothing to do with you. Okay, sexually suggestive content, provocative pictures, text, and more. So if you want to think you can get a thumbnail because your girlfriend's sitting there half dressed, think again, buddy. You'll probably not get monetized, and you'll look at your girlfriend like she's not worth nothing and probably kick her out of the house. Okay, if you want to maximize your potential to appeal to a broad range of advertisers, consider the following. Keep the profanity to a minimum. I would say to none. And if you do, just kind of stop it mid-sentence. I've had to do that in a video before. Just, I wanted to say something and I would just kind of like, I get that first syllable out or whatever. I just get the beginning of it and I cut it off. So you can't even hear it. I mean, you can't even read it out in the captioning or nothing. They won't even spell it in the captioning. Consider limiting or bleeping out profanity. Okay, review your content mix. Balance videos that deal with more mature topics with others that might focus on more widely appealing topics. Definitely mix your content. Don't always talk about things that are sexually explicit content. If you curse, mix it up with some Disney stuff. Mix it with a lot of Disney stuff, so you don't look like a channel that's made for somebody that's over the age of 18. Put on your advertiser hat. Think about what type of advertiser would be comfortable showing up alongside your content. Basically, this is how I say it. If Nickelodeon or Disney wouldn't have a problem with your content, or Xbox or Microsoft wouldn't have a problem putting an ad on the side of your video, yeah, then you're good to go. So that's how you do it. You basically pick something that's made for somebody that's under 18. Okay, I'm not talking about toddler, but under 18. Thumbnails. Thumbnails should accurately represent the content and be enticing to potential viewers, but you may also want to think about thumbnails in the context of whether many brands would be comfortable showing up alongside them. For example, thumbnails that are shocking or overly graphic can also cause some advertisers to exclude that content from their particular campaign. To ensure advertisers are comfortable with your thumbnails, choose accurate thumbnails. Thumbnails should first and foremost be an accurate depiction of your content in the video. Okay, make sure that your thumbnails actually match the video. Don't have a thumbnail and you look at the video and there's nothing about it. And some people do that. They put a thumbnail up and it has nothing to do with the content, and they may mention that content all the way at the end, the last minute. And I usually give videos like that a thumb down. It's really pathetic that they do that. But anyway, appeal to broad audience. Choose a thumbnail that you think accurately reflects your video, but still appeal to the broadest audience. If it does, it may appeal to a broad set of brands as well. I'm thinking about something else as I read this, and I'm going to read it again. Appeal to a broad audience. The broad audience, or the biggest audience on YouTube, is white America. Not India, not Mexican, not a foreigner, not black people that are elderly that still speak French in South Louisiana like my family, not African American, so a broad audience. Basically, you have to target your video that all groups, Indian, Chinese American, Mexican American, Black American, everybody is going to like. So it can't focus on a particular issue. That's what they want. They want everybody to like it. Basically, you got to Disney that down some. Okay, choose a thumbnail that you think accurately reflects your video, but still appeal to the broadest audience. And we also know who the broadest audience is. The broadest audience are going to be people that look like PewDiePie. That's the broadest audience. So what they're saying is, you can't make a video. You can, like, if I wanted to make a video and talk about, what if I want to talk about my ethnicity? If I wanted to make a thumbnail, so this is going to be probably weird. I don't think I would get demonetized if I made a thumbnail with my ethnic group, which is, even though I'm a Black American, I wouldn't be called the same Black American that you would find somewhere like in New York or Maryland, or somebody in Ohio, or somebody that lives in Miami. It's totally different. Having the same skin color doesn't mean that you're same ethnic group. I know people that are darker than me and they're Asians. So, what if I wanted to make a thumbnail and it looked like some old ladies cooking, and they have dark skin, they have long gray hair, and some Native American women around them. They all speak the same language, and that wouldn't appeal to a broad audience, but would I get demonetized for it? That would be my family, and I guess my family is not targeted to a broad audience. Well, bump that, Google. You're going to have to. But anyway, I guess you guys know what I'm talking about. Basically, your thumbnails or your content have to appeal to everybody. It has to be everybody's going to be excited to click on the thumbnail. I don't think if I made a thumbnail that has to do with cooking in South Louisiana, and you have a Cajun person, a Creole person, Native American woman, and they're all like in the kitchen, and I made a thumbnail, I think that it would appeal to a big audience, but it would exclude the rest of the United States. That is a small group of people, but it would still be content friendly. It would still be advertiser friendly, I think, but it would not include, quote unquote, America. Even though that they're legally Americans, it is just not American culture, language. Okay, it's not like an American identity. It's something that is completely cut off, but still within the United States. So I don't think it would appeal to the broad audience, but still be advertiser friendly. So. Weird how tricky things are, isn't it? Tricky. This is an example graphic. Okay, you don't want to have a dead person lying there. And somebody, I remember somebody posted some stuff on Facebook and Twitter and stuff when this guy was shot and killed. Right after he was killed, probably no less than 5 minutes, they posted his dead body on Facebook. It's a good thing his mom was dead, wasn't it? Oh, God. Anyway, shocking, kid smoking a cigarette. You don't want a thumbnail with some kid doing something that's weird or whatever on the thumbnail. Metadata, that's what I like. Metadata, the titles, the description, and the tags. Advertisers can choose to target videos that contain particular terms and keywords to their titles, descriptions, or tags in order to reach the audience they value. To get some of the good advertisers to come to your video, you have to make sure that your video focuses upon something that is similar to their product, and also put it in your title, your description, and also your tags. And to make tags really good, I would suggest that you mix it up with long tail keywords and also single words. Okay, if you're talking about a product like an iPhone or something, or a case for an iPhone, and maybe mention a company, or iPhone cases, types of iPhone cases, or laptop, you know what I'm talking about. For me, I really like Kindle cases and all the different things you can put in a Kindle, especially the ones where you can drop it and your Kindle doesn't crack, those cases. So anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Mention those companies or that product, or make long tail keywords in reference to that. Whatever keyword you're targeting, whatever topic you're targeting, and you get better you get more advertisers targeting your video based upon the content. Okay, that's metadata. Advertisers can also use terms and keywords to opt out of content that doesn't align to their brand as well. Okay, if you're always talking about Pepsi in a video, Coca-Cola, another brand or whatever. Another brand may not want to advertise on your video if you're always talking about Apple products. Maybe Microsoft might not, but then Microsoft might, just to get you to go over to their side. But they may not advertise on your site or your video simply because you're not promoting their products. Okay? Are you promoting I was gonna say an enemy product, a competition? You're promoting competition always. If you have a channel that exclusively talks about Macs, fixing Macs, tricks with Macs, how to repair a Mac computer, everything about Mac, iMacs, this Mac, old Macs, new Macs, everything Apple. I don't think that Microsoft is going to target you, or Xbox video or whatever. For example, videos that contain profane, controversial, or sexually suggestive terms, even if they are being used in a comedic, ironic, or otherwise non-offensive context. You can't even joke about the stuff. So laws and all that's going to have to go somewhere to your social networks. Okay, that can result in some advertisers excluding your video from their campaigns. Advertisers also sometimes opt out of keywords that are not controversial, but in their own way not aligned with their brand or advertising campaign goals. I understand that. Let me read it again. Advertisers also sometimes opt out of keywords that are not controversial, but in their own way may not align with their brand or advertising campaign goals. Like I was mentioning earlier, there's this one channel where they're talking about how to uplift really impoverished communities within the United States, and how they can change things around and make it better for their kids and their grandkids or whatever, and how to get out of that, basically that cycle of poverty. And they're talking about this, and they're targeting a lot of minority groups in the United States. But even though they're not talking about something that would get them banned or their video demonetized, there are certain brands that don't want to advertise on their channel simply because they're scared to talk about what we consider the truth and facts. Okay, some advertisers may not like it. So they want to focus, they want to basically put you, and we can all say this, maybe there's some advertisers that don't want to deal with the truth, and that's true. They really don't. They want to just, lock it out and just keep people buying. They don't want to talk about the fact that there's a whole group of people out there that are not buying. Imagine if all of the people had access to your product to buy or whatever. So they don't really want to focus upon the truth. Basically it's all fun and games. They could have an earthquake that happens, a bunch of people die, but that right after that earthquake or right in front of the epicenter of the earthquake where everything's cracked up, they'll probably try to sell some chips, popcorn, candy, cotton candy, and balloons to make you smile. Anyway, tips to ensure advertisers are comfortable with your metadata. Make accurate titles, tags, and descriptions. Most importantly, metadata should accurately describe the content of your video. Okay, every word matters. Videos that contain profane, controversial, or sexually suggestive terms can result in some advertisers excluding your video from their campaigns. Okay, words can be taken out of context. Advertisers will often opt out of certain words or phrases. Consider how your titles, tags, and descriptions can be interpreted. Okay, I think we all understand that. The conclusion: as a creator on YouTube, you should always exercise your freedom of expression. However, if you want to ensure your content attracts advertisers, keep in mind the above best practices and our advertiser-friendly content guidelines as you create your content. Okay, so it has a question for me here. If you're considering monetizing, review your titles, thumbnails, and metadata. Okay, I already have that. Okay. Check your knowledge. Let's go. Michelle has created a video about a plane crash with graphic imagery from the crash site. What should she be aware of before posting it? Not to post the images of the people. Okay. The video could be demonetized if she chooses to run ads on it. Yes, this video could. She should be aware. Oh, that's not it, but it would be. Okay. The video content, I thought I can't do that. I can't like declick it or whatever, or take it off. The video content should be in line with YouTube policies, so this is not, so that it doesn't get taken down. Advertisers tend to shy away from videos that contain tragic. Okay, that's pretty much all of the above. Okay, great job. So I didn't have it wrong. I just should have clicked all of the above and just read through it before I decided to make a choice on an answer. Okay, so all of the above, this video could be demonetized if she chooses to run ads on it. The video content should be in line with YouTube policies so that it doesn't get taken down. And the advertisers tend to shy away from videos that contain tragedy and conflict. So yeah, you post a video of some plane crashing in your backyard and stuff. It might not get monetized. It may not. And some advertisers may just run ads. Some good chunk of them may not. Just kind of block your video from getting demonetized. I would still post it. I wouldn't post any graphic images though, but yeah, I would still post like a video of a crash site. I remember when I was a kid, well, not a kid, but I was really young, but I was on my own, living in my own place, had a nice apartment, and every morning I would have a certain news station on or talk news story on in the morning, and I remember I was getting dressed for school, and they had an accident of, it was a plane crash, and the thing, it was so graphic, it actually made me cry. You can see the clothes hanging from branches and stuff, and I'm pretty sure they had body parts everywhere, but it made me cry. And I was probably in my early 20s, just starting out in life in college, and I was sitting there crying, staring at the television. But anyway, that's just me. Some people are really sensitive like that, so it didn't stop me from watching that certain station. It just made me sad. That's it. People get sad sometimes. Some people could care less about it, and some others, like me, I started crying. Anyway, okay, let's go to another one. Check your knowledge. Aside from video content, what other factors do advertisers use to decide if they should opt in or out of running ads? They look at your video title, yes. They look at your video thumbnail, yes. They look at your video metadata, yes. Aside from the video content, okay, what other factors do advertisers use to decide if they should opt out of running ads? I'm going to say all of the above. It's excellent. Got it right. Okay. Check your knowledge. How can you tell if you, okay, how can you tell if you, how can you tell if a video, How can you tell if a video has been demonetized? That doesn't sound right. How can I tell how can you tell if a video has been demonetized? They should rewrite that, I think. How can I tell if a video has been demonetized? It will be taken down from YouTube. No. In Video Manager, you will see if a yellow icon next to the video that indicates it has been demonetized. That's how I can tell if a video has been demonetized. Okay. In Video Manager, you will see a big red box around the video that indicates it has been demonetized. No. There is no way to tell unless you watch the video and you don't see ads. No. You're going to see a yellow thingy. Okay. Got that right. And let's submit that. And I passed 100%. So and I go on to the next lesson. Oh, this was a very long video, and I'm sorry that you guys had to endure this, but I hope that this helped you with starting off, if you haven't already, with Creator Academy. And this is, I think, a section they added in because they was really not wanting to deal with all of the questions. And this is basically gonna put it out in black and white for you. If you don't understand what I just read, then maybe you need to go and do the test and read it yourself and understand that it's not YouTube that's making those choices on demonetizing your video. It's something that they think might cause harm to your channel, where you might just get blacklisted. So if they put a yellow thing up there, you have a right to, go and fight it or whatever, or say, or even take or bleep some things out to fix it. I would go and take some things out and fix it and say that you fixed it, and can they monetize it again? That's what I do if it was me. I don't have any yellow things on my videos. Everything's all green, or I have other people monetizing video footage that I posted. So it's not an issue. But anyway, if I ever have, I think that I'm going to have a really big issue with that on my other channel. This channel, I will not. But my other channel, I may have a huge backlash from the community on my other channel, simply because it's talking about topics, even though they're not they're age appropriate. A lot of advertisers don't like dealing with the truth, and the truth sometimes hurts. That saying is very true. The truth will hurt sometimes, because I want to talk about some things that that interest me, and also focuses upon a wider, other topics that has nothing to do with video games. So for me, this is going to be a lesson on what I can post and not have issues with, or I'm going to have to kind of dumb it down a bit. and I can't be serious. If I want to sit and talk about some of the issues that we have in the South, southern states, and how people vote based upon the economic outlook. A lot of people down south vote Republican. Just to give you an example, lots of people down south vote Republican, but at the same time, the people that they vote for as Republican does not align with how they live, meaning there's a lot of farming down south, and there's a lot of poverty down south, and there's a lot of people in the oil industry or this or that, and the people that they vote for are not necessarily going to help them in their personal lives or their situation or the whole tax breaks that they want. They're not going to. A Democrat may, but not a Republican, and they vote basically Republican a lot of the times. So let's say that I talk about that. People aren't going to like that. They're not going to like it. They're not going to like that. But anyway, they're not going to like the truth. And the truth hurts. And the truth may not be anything that YouTube is not saying, well, you can't say that. If they're putting a flag up on your channel, they're warning you that advertisers may not like this. So it's not them that's making that choice. Okay, and this is apart from other weirdos flagging your video. Okay, you can get flagged for a Mickey Mouse cartoon, seriously, and it's monetized by Disney, but still, people are gonna flag it anyway. I'm not talking about that. But I'm done with this lesson. I'm gonna move on to the next, and I hope that you also learned why your videos are being demonetized. If you want to sit and talk about some controversial issues, maybe you should word it a different way. Maybe you should talk about things and ask your audience certain things and get the conversation going. But I don't know, for the people that are just talking mainly about how much they hate Islam, Christianity, and all kind of other stuff, then you should not be surprised when you're not monetized. And people like that are usually not having issues getting Patreon. So there you go. Okay, people, take care. Have a good one. And definitely go and take Creator Academy, because it's very helpful for me. And I think it would be helpful also for you. Bye-bye.